So Iron Banner has finally been brought back to us, and with it, we've gotten a brand new Iron Banner weapon. I say brand new, but it's actually a reissued one, but it has access to the tier system, which is actually fairly nice, but we'll get into that in a little bit. And it's nice that we have something different to play now because, yeah, those portal activities lately have just been, they've been horrible, man, especially with the new like update activities with Ash and Iron. Yeah, I personally do not enjoy them, but I'm going to be making a video here relatively soon stating about how I would fix Destiny, going over the leveling system, Strikes, Gambit, Crucible, my thoughts and opinions on how we can make all that better, as well as Raid, bringing them up to more relevancy now, like in the updated system, and just my general thoughts on how Bungie's been doing things with Destiny and how we can go forward about improving everything, as well as like, you know, how they could better understand the community and what we want. So bear with me on that. I'm going to be working on here in the next couple of days or so, so keep an eye out for that video. But yes, today I'm going to be talking about Finite Impactor from Iron Banner. Now, before we're going over this, I do want to mention about the stat values of this hand cannon. Immediately looking at it, it is very, very bad. Like, it's back to like year one hand cannon stat values. It's pretty rough. It's looking very bad. Now, the upside to this is that it's a 140 with the tier system. With a tier 5 and fully masterwork, every stat value, even the one that had the masterwork, gets a +5 to the stat values. So that's a lot you can add on top of this. So simply having a range masterwork on this and having a masterwork with a tier 5, it immediately goes up from 36 range to 51. So don't get disheartened seeing the stat value and thinking that it's not worth it to get this gun. You can definitely make up for the stat values on this weapon with the tier system, and especially with, you know, enhanced barrels, enhanced mag perks, and of course perks as well. So you have ways to counteract this and still make it viable and actually very strong. And I gotta say, this hand cannon, I didn't think I would like it because I saw the stat value as well. I was of the same opinion, like, this is not going to be worth it. But after using it in PvP a lot with a certain perk combination, it was fun. It was actually very fun, and it was very, very consistent. I was honestly genuinely surprised that this gun felt very good. So I'm going to be going over the perks in the left and right column, my ideal perks for PvE and PvP as well. So hopefully you guys enjoy this video. Like, comment, and subscribe if you do. Let's get into it. So going over the perks, in the left column we have Iron Grip, Fragile Focus, Heal Clip, Inlined Action, Slideways, and Killing Wind. In the right column we have Iron Reach, Burning Ambition, Precision Instrument, Rapid Hit, Magnificent Howl, and Moving Target. So going over PvE first, there's only really 2 perks in the left column slot that actually seem kind of viable. Well, kind of 3. There's Slideways there for, you know, sliding and reloading for more like run and gun action play styles, but honestly, in my opinion, I feel like that's more of a PvP perk, especially with the stat value package of this weapon, and it has generally lower stability than other 140 hand cannons. In that case, I would say that's more for PvP, but you can use it for PvE just for run and gunning if you want to use that. And line action seems fairly nice for, you know, bumping up the reload stat of this weapon and the handling as well, especially considering that the reload speed is actually fairly low on this hand cannon. But it's not too terribly that it's like a big deal for this weapon. But if you want to help, like, consistently help out with the reload speed of this weapon, that'd probably be the best option. But honestly, the best all-be-all perk in this column would be Heal Clip. I mean, Heal Clip, you can't beat that out for just healing on demand, for just getting a kill, and applying that to your allies as well for the synergy for Solar with Ember of Benevolence. There's no way that Heal Clip is not the worthwhile perk here. If you don't use it, you're kind of throwing, but I mean, you can still use Inline Action if you want to, but the best all perk in this one would have to be Heal Clip, hands down. The other perks are more for PvP, so I'll get to those later. In the fourth column, it's actually a little bit interesting. For some reason, they put Rapid Hit here, which, like, it's not really worth it for, you know, PvE-wise in that column, because you want, you know, damage perks as well, because it's having to contend with, you know, a solar perk, a damage perk, and, you know, more consistency perks as well. So it's like, it's not really a viable option, in my opinion, for Rapid Hit to be here or to even use it. But if you want to use it, you can. But I'd say in this scenario for this weapon, it's probably better for PvP. PvE, not so much. Then we have Magnificent Howl that loads up special bullets after getting precision final blows before reloading. Again, you only load as many bullets as precision final blows you have before reloading, so you got to keep that in mind. But it is very nice to have for stronger bullets to have on demand, but you kind of have to deal with this loop of like final blows and reloading, then holding on to them, waiting for the right scenario to use them, and then sometimes you're just killing ass, you just use them and forget about it. In my opinion, Magnificent Howl is not the best either. Although, for a situation with like Lucky Pants Hunters, in that case, I would say definitely use it if you were able to stack up those Magnificent Howl rounds to like as much as you can. In that case, yes, but general use play, Magnificent Howl, I would see is not really being the best option. Then we have Burning Ambition. Now, I will say I didn't think Burning Ambition would be as good, but they have done a lot of buffs to it, and I did see now how it's actually meant to be used in harder content. It's kind of the antithesis to Incandescent. Incandescent used for lower end activities, Burning Ambition used for higher end activities. So if you're facing a lot of tankier enemies, this is where you want to take advantage of this to deal Scorch on targets. So in this case, Burning Ambition is kind of fairly good. Having Burning Ambition helps top off the Scorch stacks to cause the ignition. That's where the best case use for Burning Ambition is. You want to pair it up with a source that you have in your kit that is already applying Scorch, so that way you can top off the Scorch and cause ignitions faster. That's kind of like this cycle you want to use Burning Ambition with. So ideally for Burning Ambition, you want to pair it up with something that's dealing Scorch. Luckily with the artifact with Radiant Shrapnel, that's probably the best pairing for any build overall. However, after the artifact mods are gone, solar subclasses are going to see the most benefit out of this perk combination. And then lastly, we have Precision Instrument to increase our precision damage as long as we're consistently landing precision shots. So this one, I think overall, generally for just more general play, Precision Instrument is probably the best one you use for PvE just for that stacking increase of damage overall. Although I will say if you're planning to use Precision Instrument, you definitely want a mag burst to increase it so that way you can take advantage of the higher end stacks more effectively. But general use case, Precision Instrument is probably the best one in my opinion. But yeah, in this column, I'd say Precision Instrument is probably my go-to perk for this. But again, you can also use Burning Ambition and maybe Mag Howl for like Lucky Pants if you want to go that route. So that's probably like the best pairings I would use with this. So for my tier 5 PvE God roll, if I want to have all the perks included, it would be Heal Clip, Inlined Action, and Slideways. So that way I have options for reloading with Inlined Action. If I want to use Slideways for, run and gun tactics, and then Heal Clip for just healing for general play overall, and, taking advantage of the solar kit as well if I wanted to use that. And then for the right column, I would use Burning Ambition, Precision Instrument, and Magnificent Howl. So that way, if I'm using a Scorch build and I want to use Burning Ambition to help cause ignitions faster, I could use that. If I want to increase my overall damage, just generally, Precision Instrument is probably the way to go. And if I maybe want to use this for a niche Lucky Pants hand cannon build, I could use Magnificent Howl as well as top of that. Now for the barrels, I would recommend Small Bore just for the overall stat bump to the range and stability, just because the stats are a lot lower than most weapons. You don't want to kill any stat values at all. So Small Bore is probably the best play. For the mag perk, I would definitely recommend either Light Mag or Appended Mag, depending on what's going on. Sadly, this doesn't have Tactical Mag. If it did, that would probably be the better option. But yeah, in this case, I would either go Light Mag just for the increased reload and the range. Maybe Flirt Mag will as well, or Appended Mag, depending on what you want to use that for. And then for the Masterwork, ideally, I would either go for Reload just to help out the reload speed of this weapon, or maybe Range so that way it can shoot out a little bit further. It just depends on what you prefer on that. If you're having more consistency issues in PvE with range, then definitely Range Masterwork would be the way to go. But if you feel like the reload is very lackluster, then I would go that instead. And then for the mod, ideally for PvE, I would go Backup Mag in the case of like you don't get, Appended Mag and you want to get Flare Magwell. That'd probably be the best pairing. Although if you want to take advantage of Temporal Blast, you definitely have that option as well, especially because it's just so strong right now for a lot of weapons these days. So yeah, take advantage of it for now, but once this mod is gone, I probably end up going to Backup Mag personally. And that does it for the PvE section. Again, not a lot of perks to work with here. It's mostly a PvP weapon. But now moving on to PvP, this is where things are going to get a little interesting. Now going over the perks for PvP, again, we had Slideways from the previous section. So in this case for this weapon, ideally Slideways is actually a little bit better because again, the stat values of this weapon are rather low. Having that increase to the handling and stability for just simply sliding and the reload benefits on top of that is actually fairly nice to have on this weapon just to make up for the lackluster stat package. Now, ideally though, I would not recommend this perk. Again, it depends on the playstyle of how you want to use this weapon and how you generally play in PvP. Some people slide a lot, so Slideways would be better for those people, but if you don't slide a lot, I wouldn't really recommend it. Now, we do have Fragile Focus, which actually its value got a little bit better with the new armor stat system and the health stat value, because Fragile Focus gives you the bonus range until your shield is destroyed. Now, previously in the old system, they would take a little bit longer to come back before, you had Fragile Focus again. Now, in the new system, with the health stat value increasing your shield recovery, Fragile Focus is actually a little bit better to have it up more effectively and more consistently. So, Fragile Focus is not too bad of a perk, and just having that passive plus 20 range actually helps out a lot for this weapon, especially in PvP because you need that range. So this is actually a good combination to have for this weapon. If you get Fragile Focus, I definitely say to keep it. But then again, we also have Killing Wind. Now again, it's a kill perk as opposed to just a perk having consistently up at all times. However, Killing Wind gives you a plus 40 to the handling, a plus 5 increase to the damage fall off distance, plus 20 range, and plus 50 to mobility. Which again, it doesn't seem like much in the previous system, but still, that bumps up your mobility by a lot, which you can't really do much now unless you have the mods on your boots. So having Killing Wind there for more, like, I'd say Hunters would probably get the most benefit out of this to increase, the mobility and strafe speed because they already have a huge strafe speed scaler, and having that as well, you'll be able to strafe very fast once you have Killing Wind procced. So for Hunters specifically, I'd say Killing Wind's probably the better option, but for other classes as well, if you feel a little sluggish and you want to have that better strafe speed after getting a kill, Killing Wind would probably be the best one. And again, you can also take advantage of Heal Clip as well. Ideally, if you're going to use Heal Clip, I would recommend it if your build does not have a high health stat value. Because again, if you do not have a high health stat, the duration for your shields to come back is substantially noticeable. It takes a long time. So having something to heal you on demand after getting a kill and to keep you in the fight. Even though with the low health stat value, heal clip is definitely one I would recommend if you're rocking a low health stat build. And then we have Iron Grip, which honestly, I actually like this perk. Iron Grip having the increase the stability, but to decrease the reload speed. Having that increase the stability overall, just in general use, that is substantial, especially with the lower stat value package. That helps out a lot substantially for this weapon. And I was actually using Iron Grip, and I tell you, it was very, very consistent. Like a night and day difference between using one without Iron Grip as opposed to using one with Iron Grip. It was a night and day difference. Like the kick was so much more manageable to it. Like I could be more consistent in my shots. I can handle flinch a little bit more effectively than I would without it. So Iron Grip, I honestly would say this is probably the best one in this column, in my opinion, for just general play. And you're like as a daily driver. But if you're using a build that has like a low health stat, I would say heal clip. If you want something for more strafing or just an output to the range specifically, fragile focus and killing would probably be the better options for that one. But in my opinion, Iron Grip here in this column is probably the best one because having that consistency overall, it's just so nice to have, man. It's so good. Then moving on to the right column, we have a couple of options here. Firstly, we have moving target for the +10 to the aim assist and the 10% decrease to the ADS movement speed penalty, so that way we can strafe a little bit faster while ADSing. That one's actually not too bad. I actually was using a combination of Iron Grip with moving target, and that combination was actually fairly strong. It was very consistent. Now, I do see there's other perks in this column as well that, might be a little bit better, but moving target, if you want a more consistent roll that's like very accurate and it's very sticky to the head, moving target is probably the best one you want to use in this case. But again, there's some other perks as well. And of course, we have Magnificent Howl. If you're able to get 2 precision headshot final blows, reload them, you're able to 2-tap someone for the next engagement, which, that does have some lethality to it. But the odds in this system now with a lot of specials running around in 6s and, in 3s, it's very hard to take advantage of that, especially with people using scouts and landing in the back. Magnificent Howl in this meta currently is probably not the best option. It's kind of held back because of the meta as it sits right now. But I would recommend saving this perk in case the meta does shift a little bit to allow for, 140s and handguns to rise a little bit more into the meta and, not feel as oppressed by specials and people landing with pulses and scouts nowadays. So definitely save this perk for later on. But right now, as it stands, it's not really the best option. Then we have Precision Instrument as well to kind of pseudo help out the range and push out the range bound of this weapon just for, the increased damage scaler for precision shots. And that is actually fairly strong. You can't deny that for, pushing out the range bound of it just a little bit more effectively. But again, a lot of people don't really like Precision Instrument. I know some people, when I mentioned that in my Solemn Remembrance video, didn't really like Precision Instrument. And you're not wrong, but having the increase of the precision shot damage even outside of your range band could help secure the 3-shot kill more effectively, especially with damage fall off. So that's why I value Precision Instrument a lot more in PvP than some people would. But if you're in your range band consistently and you're not pushing damage fall off at all, then it's not really worth it. But it's more if you want to push out the damage at distance, I would definitely say Precision Instrument is the way to go. Then, of course, we have Rapid Hit, helping out the stability, reload speed, and the reload duration multiplier. Again, I really don't like Rapid Hit in this column specifically. It was in the left column, I would definitely recommend using it. But in the right column, it just takes away from the other perks that you can choose from. It's not really worth it. Then we have Iron Reach, which, if you pair that with Iron Grip, gets rid of this +20s to the stability that you did get, but pushes up the range of it even further. And having that, if you really want to stack up the range like as much as you can, having those two together without sacrificing your stability, you're sacrificing your reload speed, which, again, it's not too big of a deal. It just takes a little bit longer to reload. If you were to use Iron Reach with Iron Grip paired up with full bore, ricochet rounds, a ranged masterwork, and ballistics, the range goes up to 92 range. And see, that's why I say don't judge the stats at base, because yeah, you can really stack up the range of this weapon to peak range. You do have a little bit less reload speed, a little bit less handling, and not as much stability as you would normally would be with other 140s. But 92 range on a 140 hand cannon, generally 140s don't reach that range value. So if you really want to just suit up the range as much as you can, just off rip 100% of the time, Iron Reach paired with Iron Grip would probably be the best way to go. However, to me, I don't really like that. I feel like that takes away from the weapon and its overall stat values and kind of kills it a little bit pairing Iron Reach with it. In all honesty, moving target's probably my go-to perk. Yes, you don't have as much range, but you're not sacrificing the stability and you still have other benefits as well. It helps with more consistent shots overall. So that's probably the way I would go with this. But if you want to really suit up the range, Iron Reach, definitely want to pair with Iron Grip so it doesn't take the stability too much. And then with full range barrel, mag, and masterwork, and ballistics, yeah, you can get up to 92 range. It's very nice. So for my PvP guard roll that I would choose from for tier 5, ideally I'm going Iron Grip all the way because I've already used that with a combination moving target. Iron Grip is just substantially good just to help out consistency with my shots. It is very nice and helping for anti-flinch as well. Iron Grip's definitely the first one I would choose. Then maybe Heal Clip if I want to use this for, a low health stat build that I'm using for weapon stat values, or I'm using like a grenade spam build or something different for PvP. Definitely I would use Heal Clip instead. And lastly, I'm going to go Slideways so that way I can get the increase to reload speed and handling and, the partial reload speeds every time I slide. I'm just kind of conditioned to it by this point because of my Phonotrine Fair because it has slide shot. It was actually fairly noticeable to me specifically just because I use a slide shot weapon for reloading all the time with my shotgun hand cannon. So I'd probably go Slideways personally, but you can also use Fragile Focus or Killing Wind. But for my ideal god roll, it would be Iron Grip, Heal Clip, and Slideways in the left column. Then to the right column, Iron Reach, if I want to really stack up the range, would probably be the first one I would choose. But again, it comes at the cost of stability and, the other stat values as well. So it kind of depends on that. If I can handle the kick of it and still be fine with the range band, then I definitely go Iron Reach. Then Precision Instrument, so that way if I push outside my range band and I get the precision shots, I can get that damage scaler, so that way I can effectively still get 3 taps at any distance that I go. And then lastly, it's going to be Moving Target. This one here, Moving Target, with my combination of Iron Grip, it does not miss headshots, man. It is super consistent and super sticky. That's been my favorite combination to use by far. I definitely do want to try the Iron Reach roll. I've been trying to get it. I have not yet, but I can definitely tell you for certain. Iron Grip with Moving Target, having that with, a nice barrel perk, mag perk, and masterwork, it is actually fairly nice. You guys got to try that roll. As a daily driver, just for consistent 3 taps, that's definitely my roll I would go for. But if you want something to be a little bit more effective in your TTKs, I definitely say Precision Instrument, maybe Mag Howl, but Mag Howl in the meta right now is not really worth it in my opinion. And then for the barrel, for PvP, I'd actually go full bore, so that way I can increase the range band a little bit further. I mean, yes, it does take the stability slightly, but Iron Grip is kind of counteracting that, so it's not too bad of a thing. And then for the mag perk, definitely want ricochet rounds to help out the range and stability, so that way it counteracts full bore and still gets the benefit of Iron Grip. Definitely the way to go. Maybe High Cal would be another one if you want to add more flinch to enemies, but definitely ricochet rounds would probably be the way to go. Then for the masterwork, you definitely want range. If not, you can also go stability as well to be a little bit more consistent, but it just depends on what you're using. If you're going with Iron Grip, definitely go for range. If you're not using Iron Grip, I would definitely say stability might be a more appealing option, but again, it just depends on what you feel is a little bit more effective to you. And lastly, for the mods, I would definitely go with ballistics specifically, just because I like the increases to the range and stability off rip. Now, I do know some people like using Temporal Adapter for the increased stability, handling, and real speed just for simply swapping to it, and it is very strong. However, I just don't want to take advantage of it now, because if I do, I'll get conditioned to it, and then once it's gone, I'm going to be kind of ruined, and it's going to be a little bit hard to get adjusted back to that. So I would definitely say ballistics a little bit better in my opinion, but Temporal Adapter, so long as we have it, is probably the best mod you'd want to pair with this. But if not, if you want to go just for increased stat values, ballistics will probably be the way to go. And that does it for Finite Impactor. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you guys think of this hand cannon. I was honestly fairly surprised in PvP. I was using it on stream with Iron Grip and Moving Target, and that, oh my god. I thought it was like trash at first, but after using it for a couple of games, I think I already got like 200 plus kills on mine. I think it's already in the video by this point, but yeah, it's nothing to laugh at. This thing is actually very, very good. I just hate that the drop rates for this thing are very, very low. So it's like, I'm trying to hunt the perfect god roll, and it's just taking me forever, man. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what rolls you guys are going for. Let me know which weapon you guys want me to review next. Keep an eye out for the video I have coming out here pretty soon about my views on Destiny 2 right now and how I would fix the game. Hope you guys enjoy that video whenever it does come out, and hope you guys enjoy this video as well. Like, comment, subscribe if you do, and I'll catch you in the next one. And don't you ever forget to keep it chill.